right, today we're doing 17-7, pages 285 to 286. Today we are talking about area. So yesterday we learned our perimeter formula, which is pretty easy because you're just adding up all the sides, or, taking your length by 2 and your width by 2 and adding those together, either one. Area is even easier, believe it or not. Area is the simplest formula. I love the area formula because it's so easy to follow. So hey, you're not part of my math lesson. Just work on your work, please. Okay? So our area formula, before we even get started, we're going to write the formula, and then we will show the formula. It is the 16th. I haven't changed the date on the board yet. Sorry. So let's start by writing out our area formula. Now, this area formula only works like this with quadrilaterals, and specifically 90-degree angle quadrilaterals. So rectangles and squares, okay? This will work with rectangles and squares. This formula can be used along with other things to find the area of a triangle or the area of a trapezoid or things, but you can't use this formula by itself to find the area of those items. But for a rectangle and a square, this is all you need. This is the formula. Area equals length times width. And if we want to write it out with words like we did yesterday, that'd be area equals length times width. Another way you might see it written, which is the exact same thing, but you might see it written as area equals side times side, because the length and the width are just the sides of our square or our rectangle, right? Yeah, so area equals side times side. So these are the same thing. Length times width, side times side, that's the same thing. This is our area formula. This is what we're going to be using today to help us solve problems. Hopefully. That's the goal. But shh, hey. That's the goal anyways. I'm going to ask him, okay? All right. So area formula is length times width or side by side. They're the same thing. It's just written different ways, but they're the exact same thing. Okay? So let's try this out. I'm going to draw a square over here. And I'm going to use my graph paper to help me make this an accurate number of units right now, so we can see, so we can test our work. Remember, in your homework, your pictures are not always going to be drawn to scale, right? There she is. All right, quickly get unpacked. And get ready. Okay, we haven't got too far yet. All right. So remember, in your homework, your pictures will not always be drawn to scale. Sometimes you'll have a picture that's like this big on your homework, and it'll say, this is 35 feet by 16 feet. Clearly it's not, right? So your picture won't be drawn to scale. But I am going to draw this picture to scale so we can check our work. Okay, so I'm going to draw this square like this. Now this is a square, so all my sides are the same length. And this is going to be, I'm going to label my side as 3 units. Okay? Now it's a square, so I'm only going to label one side. But since it's a square, I know what about all my sides then? Lily? They're all equal. So if one side is 3 units, that means every single side is 3 units, right? So I can, if I want to, I could label all of them. I'm just going to label 2 here because I'm going to take those 2 sides and I'm going to plug them here into my formula. Now, my formula is area equals side times side, right? So, I want to actually plug in my sides now. So, what is my side right here? What side is that? How big is my side? What's the length of my side? Someone other than Lily, she's already answered a bunch. What's the length of my side, Caroline? 3 units, so I'm going to put a 3 here, right? What about my other side? So this is a side by a side. What's my other side, Vincent?
3.
Also 3.
3.
Now all I have to do is multiply those together, and I'm going to get my area. What is 3 times 3, Mackenzie? So I get 9 units. Now, if a picture is to scale, which again, most of them will not be, but if it is, we could even check our work. Because a unit is a square inside this box, right? I said that 3 times 3 would give us the area, and that our area is 9 units. Let's count the squares in this box and see what we get. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Did that work out?
I put my square
So my area equals 9 units. Shall we try a rectangle now?
Yeah.
Okay?
No.
Let's try a rectangle. Okay?
5 by 4.
And I'm going to label this. I have 5 units is my length. And 3 units is my width. So I have 5 by 3 here. Okay? So, I'm just going to fill out my formula. My formula was A equals length times width, right? So, I'm going to I'm just going to fill in those numbers. What was my length? Charlotte?
5 units.
5 units. What was my width? Someone hasn't answered me yet. Everly?
3.
3 units. So now I have area equals 5 times 3. Sorry, it got blurry. Let me recast that real quick. Okay. 5 times 3 units. What is 5 times 3 units? Evelyn, do you know what 5 times 3 is? What is it? 15 units. Now again, not every picture will be drawn to scale, but I drew this one to scale so that we could check it. We said that we have 15 units as our area. Let's count these boxes and see if we really do. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Is that what we got? Yeah, so area equals 15 units. How are we feeling about this? Good. Now, one thing to be careful of, and we're going to do one more together because I want you to check for this, okay, is the same thing yesterday. Our units, now in this case we were using the word units because these squares are not a specific measurement, right? But let's say they give a specific measurement, like feet or centimeters or millimeters or inches. What do we need to double check about those measurements before we do our multiplication? Everly? We need to make sure that they are the same, right? So I'm going to give us an example here. This one is in your book if you want to look at it too, but we're going to do it. This one says, and it's a rectangle. Now, obviously, this is not drawn to scale because I'm not, so this one we're not going to be able to check by counting boxes, okay, because this one's not going to be drawn to scale. But it gives us a rectangle, okay, and it's very much not drawn to scale because it says that our length is 5 feet. That is definitely not actually 5 feet, right? And our width here is, oh, I should have drawn those in separate, in the matching colors. Where'd my new whiteout go? My whiteout, I used all my whiteout yesterday, so I have new whiteout now. It's the same stuff. It's just a pink thing instead of a red one. Well, it was broken. Well, I didn't break it. I came back to my desk and it was broken, but there was like less than an inch left of whiteout left anyways, so I think it typically ends up breaking itself by the time it gets that low, so. But yeah, we were all used to the red one. Now I have a pink one, so. Okay. Speaking of pink, I wanted to write this in pink. So we have 5 feet as our length, and our width is 36 inches. So, what is my issue here? Can I multiply these numbers like they are? No, because they're not the same measurement, right? 5 feet times 36 inches is not going to give me the correct area. What do I need to do here? Evelyn, what do I need to do? I need to convert my feet into inches. How can I do that? It's been a little while since we've done that, but how can I do that? Mackenzie? I'm going to do 5 feet times 12. Why am I doing 5 times 12? Mackenzie? Because a foot is 12 inches. So if I want to convert those feet to inches, I'm just going to take the number of inches in 1 foot and multiply it by the number of feet I have. I have 5 feet, so I'm going to do 5 feet times 12. And what am I going to get there? Anyone know? Caroline? I'm going to get 60. So this 5 feet is the same as, we're going to write equals 60 inches. So now that we know that, now we can correctly fill out our formula. So area equals length times width. You do not. I'm doing it right now because I want to say it and write it as many times so that you start to memorize it. On your homework, you don't need to write A equals L times W. You can just write in the numbers right away. Okay, you can fill in the numbers right away if you don't want to keep rewriting the formula. When I do work on my own, like if I was doing this for homework, I wouldn't write A equals L times W every single time. But as the teacher, I'm writing that for you because the more I write and say it, the more you see and hear it, the more you're probably going to memorize it, or the faster you'll memorize it. So now I'm going to fill in those numbers. So area equals my length. What's my length? Someone remind me. Charlotte, what's my length?
5 feet. I mean, 36 inches.
Yeah, well, does it matter which one I put where? No, they're gonna, if I do my length times my width or my width times my length, am I gonna get a different answer? No, in multiplication, we can switch the order of the numbers and still get the same answer, right? So I could write 36 inches first. For this, though, Charlotte, I want to keep them in the same order just for teaching purposes. So go with the other one for me. Go with the long one for me first. So what is my length? 60 inches. Good. Times my width. Charlotte, what's my width now?
36.
There's 36, okay? And this is going to give me my area. Now, who just knows this off the top of their head? Yeah, I figured. Is there anything wrong with writing work off to the side? No, don't ever let someone tell you there is. Mental math is tricky. However, there is one easy thing I can do with this. Does anyone remember what our trick is?
Like, just keep going 36.
What's my little trick here? 60 ends with a what? 0. So instead of doing 36 times 60, I could do that. But instead I could do 36 times 6 and just add a 0 to my answer, right? So I'm going to do 36 times 6 and add a 0 to the end. Well, let's find out. What is 6 times 6? 36. I'm going to put my 6 here, my 3 here. What's 6 times 3? 18 plus 3? 21. And then, don't forget, I got to put my 0 over here. So, what's my answer there? Mackenzie, what's my answer? 2,160 what? Inches. Make sure that you label your measurements, because you might think that doesn't matter, but, well, if you were, let's take this in the real world. If you were building a house, right, and your contractor said, oh, we're gonna pour the foundation for your house. Like, how big do you want your house to be? And you said, I want it to be 150 by 345. And you didn't tell them that you wanted that to be feet, and they did it as inches. Would you have the house size that you want? No, you'd have a tiny house. You'd have a house for ants. You don't want a house for ants. You want a house for you. So, you need to be specific. But also on here, I want you to be specific, because like on this one, we had to convert feet to inches. I want to know that you had to convert feet to inches, and that your answer will be in inches. If you don't write that you want inches or feet, I'm going to say, well, did they know that they needed to convert? Did they convert? Did they realize what they were converting to? Did they convert to feet instead of inches? Did they convert to inches instead of feet? I don't know. So make sure that you label your measurement, okay? If you're doing inches, feet, centimeters, millimeters, units, whatever it is, make sure that you measure, or make sure you label. Now, real quick, let's look at your homework. I'm going to recast so it's clearer again. Mackenzie, do you have a question?
No.
Okay, I'm going to look at our homework real quick, make a couple notes here and there, and then I'm going to send you off to do your work. It's Friday, so we don't have music. We do have writing, but we're probably just going to journal today, so I'll give you a little extra math time because we started a little late today. So, here we go. So on these down here, you're just finding the area. One thing to notice, there's one on here that I would pay attention to. Anyone want to guess which one you should pay attention to, Charlotte?
Number 2.
I would pay attention to number 2, because you're going to need to do a conversion there, right? This is where, hopefully, you still have your math notes, because what are the chances you have your conversion worksheets still? Maybe some of you keep them.
No.
I bet most of you don't have them anymore.
I don't.
But do you have your math notebook?
Yeah.
And did you write all your conversions in there? That's why we take notes, right?
I'm going to try to find it.
So, on number 2, it was, I think, chapter 14, right? So look for your chapter 14 notes. So, number 2, you're going to need to convert. On the back, I want you to draw a rectangle with the given area. So remember, the number of units that you have, that's going to be how many squares are inside of your shape. So if you have 6 square units, you can draw any shape here, really.
I found it.
It doesn't even have to be a square as long as you have 6 squares inside of the shape you draw, or 8 squares inside of the shape you draw. No, you need to draw what it says. So for this one, here's what I want you to know. Typically, if we wanted to draw something that we could use an area formula to find, you would need to draw a box, a square, or a rectangle, right? Okay, so let's keep it to that. Let's draw squares and rectangles here today. So squares and rectangles, and make sure that the number of squares inside matches. So here's an easy way to do it. What are 2 numbers that multiply together to equal 6?
What?
Evelyn? 2 times 3. So, you could make one of your sides 2 units, one of your sides 3 units, and then finish the rectangle. I can make one of my sides 2 units, Everly. A unit is 1 square, right?
Yeah.
Yeah? So, 1, 2, one of my sides is 2 units, right there, yes?
Oh.
Then I make one of them 3 units. 1, 2, 3. Then I just need to finish my rectangle. I have 2 more lines to draw to finish the rectangle. When I'm done, I should have 6 squares in there. So I'm going to finish 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And if I want to check my work, I can even connect all these lines so that I can easily count the squares. How many squares are there, Everly, inside my rectangle? There are 6 squares. So there's an answer for you. I just gave you an answer. You have to do the next two by yourself, though. Number 4, it's giving you the information you need to find the area. It's just giving it to you with words. But it tells you a rectangle has a length of 13 feet and a width of 9 inches. And it wants to know the area. What do you think you should do with those two numbers? How do we find area, Vincent? What's our area formula? What do you think we should do with those two numbers? Vincent, what's our area formula? A equals what? Look in your paper. Look at the front of your paper. Or in your notes that you hopefully took. A equals what? This is what you need to know today. If you don't know this, then you're not gonna be able to do your homework. You have to know this formula. What is it? A equals what? Area equals what?
X.
Times. Yeah, side times side, or length times width, right? So if I look at my problem on number 4, I have a length, I have a width. What should I do with those numbers? Charlotte? I know, I turned it off. Yes, I wasn't quite there yet, right? But what do I need to do with my length and my width is my first question. What am I going to need to do with my length and my width? Lauren? Okay, you guys are ahead of me. You're too good. I'm just looking for you to say multiply. We have to multiply our length and our width. But yes, you're right. On number 4, before you can multiply, you will have to convert. Okay? You guys are too smart for my questions. Nice job. All right? So we're going to multiply our length times our width, but before we can multiply on number 4, we will have to convert our feet to inches, okay? Then we can multiply. Number 5, it says a square has a side length of 55 feet. What do I do on this one? Because it only gives me one length. How am I supposed to multiply if I only have one length? What am I supposed to do, Lily?
With the squares that have all equal sides.
It's a square, so it has all equal sides. So I only need one length because every side is going to be the same size, same length, right? So even though it only gives me one side, I know the length of two sides.
You have to do 55 times 4.
No, that would be perimeter.
So you have to do 55.
55 is the length of this side. What's the length of this side?
55.
So what am I going to multiply?
55 times 5.
No.
55 times 2.
No!
What? Then what are you doing?
Side by side. I multiply side by side. What's the length of this side?
55.
What's the length of this side?
55.
What am I multiplying together?
55.
By
55.
55 times. You said 55 times 5. And then you said 55 times 2. And first you said 55 times 4.
So 55 times 55.
Yeah. Okay?
55 times 55? Yeah. I don't even know what it is.
Alright.
But there's 4 sides. Wait.
Yeah.
So we gotta do 55
No.
times 55.
No. 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 Perimeter is where you add up all 4 sides. Area, you only multiply 2 sides. You take your length and your width, or if it's a square, it's just, they're all the same size, right? You take length times width, and you multiply them. That's it.
So you just do 55 times. Wait.
So what's the length of this side?
55, so 55 times 5.
No!
55 times 55.
55 times 55. That's it. Yes. That's all you're going to do.
The light bulb went off. You got this. Here, I have a weird request.
What you got?
Are you going to 8th grade graduation?
Yes. I was planning on it.
So they chose I Just Want to Be a Sheep for their song.
Okay.
Is it? How good are you at the ukulele?
Depends. I could probably figure it out.
You could play I Just Want to Be a Sheep on the ukulele.
Yeah, I could probably make that work. As long as
No
I
way.
I just need to search for the chords, but I can probably
Okay.
find them somewhere.
Because otherwise they have to sing it a cappella.
Okay, yeah.
Like, just ask the game.
Yeah, let me look.
You don't want to do that?
No, I can do that. Let me just see if I can find the chords
Okay.
before I commit, but I should be able to find those, I
Text
imagine.
me Yay or nay?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. I am sorry to interrupt.
You're good. We're just about done. They're about to start working on their work, so.
Perfect.
They
Okay.
still don't understand the problem. No,
Lauren,
let's say 5.
Lauren, there's nothing to understand. Lauren,
There's something to understand.
Lauren, area is just length times width. You just add in their numbers. Lauren, it's a square, yes? So all the sides are what? So I have 55 feet here. I have 55 feet here. In area equals side times side. I have two sides right there. So what am I going to do with those two sides? That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Then you get your answer.
So do 55 times 5. 55 times
If you say 55 times 5 one more time.
Do 55 times 55.
Thank you. All right. The last two are word problems. So Kelsey's floor is a rectangle with an area of 72 feet squared. Feet squared.
The whole homework.
Give me. That's because you missed the beginning because you were late, and we even started late. So hang on, and I'll help you in a second. Let me get everyone else started. Okay. All right. There's a rectangle with an area of 72 feet squared. The width of the floor is 8 feet. What is the length of Kelsey's floor? So this is what it's telling you here. Okay? We have a rectangle.
Okay.
We know the area. It tells me what the area is. What's the area? Everybody, what's the area?
72 feet is the floor.
Okay, so our area is 72 feet squared. Then it tells me the width of the floor. What's the width of the floor? It gives me this information. Charlotte? The width is 8 feet. Do we know the length?
No. Yes?
No. That's what we're supposed to find. Now, the question is, if we find area by doing length times width, how do you think we could find the length if we have the width and the area? Psst, Everly, you want to try it?
72 divided by 8.
That's exactly what you do. You just do the opposite. Instead of multiplication, we already have the answer to the multiplication problem. So now we do the opposite. We take the full area and we divide it by the side that we have, and then we find our answer. All right, the last one. I want you to try this one on your own. I'm going to read it to you, but then you got to try it on your own. So Sydney's finding the area of a rectangle that's 4 feet by 7 inches, and she says the area is 28 inches. Is she correct, or did she make a serious mistake? I think you guys might be able to catch her if she made a mistake, because you guys are good at that. So check her work and see if she did it right. Your homework is both sides. Your homework is both sides. So 17-7, both sides, 285 to 286. That is 10 problems total. Some of you have probably already started. I'm here if you have any questions. You got plenty of time because we have no music, nothing. We have no plans. We got time. You're good. Get to work.
So we have the science?
Well, yes, you'll have science.